Okay, hello everybody, thanks for coming to the Village of WEBBERVILLE's council meeting, February 28th, 2023. It is 6:03 p.m. We'll call Jessica Cooch, please.
Sophie absent. Schoenberg? Here. Stanfield?
Here.
Walter?
Here.
Hitchcock?
Here.
Quorum.
We have a quorum? Just missing Sam, okay? Would everybody please stand, face the flag, pledge allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, do I have I recommend to the council that we can approve the consent agenda as presented?
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Do we have any, I make a motion to open the public comment at this time at 6:04 p.m. on anything concerning other than what's on our agenda? Need a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anything? Yeah, go ahead.
I just would like to ask if you have an update on the road work for Main Street. It's coming up soon, so.
Yep, it should happen as soon as they get out of school. We're gonna be going forward with it, and if everything works out right, as we continue to keep tearing it up, we're gonna try to go all the way to Party Road. We're gonna continue to keep pushing that. It might be just a cap, we'll see what we can do, but we're gonna try to push it all the way to Party Road.
So they have all of the supplies that are needed, so.
Everything.
In the summer?
Everything they told me, they have everything they need to go past where they're at now. Everything we asked
Even if
for.
they don't go past the plan, just the main part. I mean, I'd like to see it on the Party Road, but,
Right,
yeah.
and I'm gonna push it. If we got enough people here, we should be able to get it done, so.
Okay.
And we'll do that. We probably won't have any grant for that, but we have money, so we'll get it, even if it's just capped all the way to Party Road. I just gotta get them here and push them through it. But right now, we got all the supplies. Nobody's holding me up, saying we don't have the supplies to take care of it.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, I
Thank you.
hope it'll go good. Thank you. Anything else? Anything? Where do you guys live on? Party, Rayburn?
Walnut.
Walnut? Is everything going good on Walnut?
Sure is.
You got fresh blacktop over there?
Right.
Right? I think Walnut and over there by Gary Newman.
No, I'm right by Lana.
Okay, oh, you're over by, okay. Gotcha. There you don't see the school bus anymore, do you? Remember the school bus over by N.I.E.S.A?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got that out of there. Okay. We'll see you none in the public. We'll close the public comment at 6:05 p.m. So moved in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. And in the event that we're having our meeting, if you raise your hand, I will stop if you guys got a question while we're doing our meeting. All right, so the next thing on our, does anybody want to go through the minutes on the council meeting, accounts payable, revenue, expenditure? Did you get a chance to look at it, or the balance sheet? Everybody get a chance to look at it?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we're down to the police reports.
I need a motion. and a
We got to make a motion for the money.
Yeah.
So I recommend to the council that we approve the consent agenda and the payables and the accounts that are in here, which one of them is plant rent, to pay these accounts.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sophie absent. Schoenberg?
Yes.
Stanfield?
Yes.
Walter?
Yes.
Hitchcock?
Yes.
Lana-Improvement.
Okay. Police report. I don't have no police report here at this time, but I can see. They sent one in. Did they send one in, Jessica, or is that just once a month they're gonna do that?
Yeah, it's in there right after the balance sheet.
Looks like it was pretty quiet.
Yeah, he said they didn't have too much.
Okay. DPW report, Shane is not here. I know that Shane mentioned to me today that one of our sewer pumps went bad, and now we only have just one. So we're gonna send it in to get rebuilt, and we gotta purchase a new one, so we got one on spare. Okay, clerk treasurer report, Jessica Cooch.
Tammy's been very helpful, helping me when I had to work from home because of my leg. There is rough drafts of a plan, or 2022 to 2023 budget amendment and 2023-2024 proposed budget in the packet today. The DDA must, check came in. And then we're working on the DDA budget as well. We're gonna try to get a refund for some of the interest and penalties that were incurred from the clerk treasurer for the IRS payments. Some of the employees are working on going through the handbook, which some of that stuff is in today, and they met this morning about it too. So the agenda's pretty long.
Does any of the council members have any questions for Jessica Cooch? Okay, thank you, Jessica. Looking over our building and zoning report, we know Jim Wright once a month will come. I think he mainly does the first Tuesday, or the second Tuesday of our meetings is when every other month he'll show up, so we should see him next meeting. It looks like it's been pretty quiet for him. Okay. N.I.E.S.A report.
There wasn't really much that we discussed. I know that we are still working on the revenue sharing agreement. I think it has to go to the lawyer. So that's about the only thing that was going on there. So
Are we still,
other than that, we're pretty good.
what was the money that what did they end up with?
I think the 30, right, Josh? Yeah.
Gotcha.
And at least it's done, so.
I did skip over the WDDA report. You got anything, Josh?
Sorry.
You good?
No, we're still just doing the environmentals for the Ford dealership and the parking lot. They're still doing the environmental on that. So we should know. The phase 1 they just completed, and so they're looking at the possibility of doing phase 2 on the parking lot, or on the Ford dealership, and then the excavation begins. They just put it out to bid, so that should be, I think, end of next month, they'll start digging and start removing soil.
Good. Cool. Do appreciate that. Thank you, Josh. Okay. Let's get to our attorney, Scott Rule, reports from Mr. Scott Rule.
Only thing really to report for this meeting is just a reminder that Jamie Hort's trial looks like it's still scheduled for 3rd of March. I'm sorry, the 6th, the 13th of March, I'm sorry.
13th of March?
Yep, that looks to be staying the course as of now. Another matter is I have, which I hope to be the final hearing in district court regarding the White Rose matter. That is Thursday. I believe it's at like 2 p.m. It's going to be held by Zoom. This is the matter in which we'll be arguing for all the attorney fees related to White Rose. On that note, White Rose has also appealed the entire matter from district court to circuit court. My answer has to be delivered to the circuit court, I believe, in about 2 weeks. I'm hoping that the circuit court will just kick it out, but until we get a ruling on that, I'll just keep you posted. Diane Wynn called me, I believe, after our last meeting, just giving me an update. She's the one that's in charge of the insurance claim as to the matter with Jamie Hord. I believe that's just moving along as it should be. I think they're kind of waiting to see what the 13th will bring, but they're processing the claim already by the sound of it. That's all I really have at the moment, that's it.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Any council members have any questions for our attorney?
No.
Okay. Alan Boyer Engineering reports. At this point, Josh and I had talked about talking with Alan Boyer, everything at this point, we're gonna go, so.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any hiccups from either party that we're getting our stuff going that way. All right. Advocate reports. I see your pictures, the improvement pictures. Do you wanna talk about that?
I just kind of put some pictures in there. I thought it was kind of nice to be able to see them. I do have one in there with the school bus kind of being crunched down before it was taken away. They had to do that, I'm guessing, because of maybe the route they took and then making it easier to load.
I had to get it lower.
Yeah,
It was me.
well, I kind of figured it was you.
Mr. Cole says, you're having too much fun.
Yeah.
I had to knock it down so I could, yeah.
I kind of thought.
What did you use?
I had my backhoe and then I turned around and,
It was
knocked out the
So
corner
you smashed
pieces.
with the backhoe?
I did, and then I loaded it up on the step deck.
It looked like you, I thought it was you. I thought, that's gotta be Brad. He looks like he's just having too much fun over there.
3 hours, it was over and done with.
Yeah, and then I also took some pictures of, it's always gonna be Old Coney to me, of the progress that they are making. I have a couple more on my phone I sent to Jessica so she can, it's just kind of nice to
It really
see
is nice.
what it's gone, you know, what it looks like and what it's going to right now. I think it's really important that we can see that. Because when we have the finished project and we can't see what it looks like as it goes along.
We would like to see the pictures when they built this building.
Oh,
And they
absolutely.
got burned up, I think, because the pictures would help us on some of the things we're trying to find in this building, how it was created.
I'll have to see if I can do some digging.
Shane and I spent we were up here a couple hours today looking at, getting a plan together for spring, for outside. So.
Never know when I'll show up taking pictures.
Okay, let's go to new business. We have a new person that can help us with our crossing guard. And if you please stand up and mention your name.
I'm Ayn Small,
Yep. How you first name?
Ayn,
Aiden, right?
no, Ayn.
Aiden? All right, cool. Well, it's nice to meet you, and I appreciate you wanting to help us out, and it's your mom that does it now, right?
Yeah.
Yep, so you guys can do a backup plan, and that'd be great. I really do appreciate that.
So do I.
Yeah, I bet you do. So you think-
Here and there.
Well, I mean, I also do child care for a foster family, and the parents are ICU nurses.
Okay.
So it's like one of those, if they call off, people die situations. But fortunately, I haven't had any situations like that. But to have mornings where I can go and help get this little guy off on the bus for them, it helps me a lot. And I have someone who can doesn't go and get their leg broken.
Ooh, yeah. It's healed now.
But yeah, he's probably one of the most perfect people I could think for the job, honestly.
I like that. So we did a background check, he passed that Aiden, right?
A-N. A-N.
Aiden.
A-N.
There's no G.
Aiden. No G?
Yeah,
No.
Aiden.
A-N.
It's just A-Y-N.
A-Y-N. Now, how do you spell his last name?
Small.
Yes, just small.
S-M-A-L-L.
Small.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I recommend to the council that Ayn Small be added on to our crossing guard that we have existing now for a backup, or when she's not available, that Ayn Small can help. I recommend to the council that we approve him to work as a crossing guard.
So moved.
I need a second. A roll call, please.
Do you wanna be $10 or $10 an hour, so be like $10 half hour? Where she started off for the first time?
What's that?
You want him to start off where she started off when she first started crossing guard?
We start right where it's at,
Okay,
same price.
okay.
Make it simple.
Sure. We'll do that.
Back in the day, it was 2 less, so. Sorry, same price.
Alright, Schoenberg,
Yes.
Stanfield,
Yes,
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes, and what's the price on that? I just looked at it,
That's a full, 1153.
something like that. Same price, either one, okay? You remember it, what is it?
11:33 at the.
There you go. Okay? Thank you again, we do appreciate your help us out. Does he have the, something protected for
I have an extra vest,
reflected?
and I actually, and so,
Come see me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let us know if you need something like that, we can supply that for you. Or something reflective so they can see you. All right. Okay, thank you, and you can stay if you want, or you guys can go, you don't have to stay here the whole time, okay? All right, so, council members, what we have to do now, approval of a firework ordinance that we got here in front of us. I think this has been adopted somewhere else that we talked about, we just got it added into our ordinance. So anybody look it over whether they didn't want to adopt it, or? It looks pretty self-explanatory to me. You just gotta adopt it, so we have a motion to adopt.
Okay, I make a motion to adopt the fireworks ordinance.
We have, okay, I mean, either or, we have one in play right now, don't we, Jessica?
I couldn't find one.
Couldn't find one, so we didn't have one in play. I remember Jim Wright talking to me about it, but it was just a slim ordinance of it, like it was the day before and the day after, they could have fireworks.
And Mike mentioned to add this into our stuff, like yes.
Okay. All right, so, yep, Sandra, so you,
I make a motion to approve the new proposed fireworks ordinance.
adoption, okay? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Lana, roll call, please.
Schoenberg,
Yes.
Stanfield,
Yes,
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. Okay, Shane here from the Public Works, our supervisor, we want to get forks for our backhoe. And they're ones that we can hydraulically attach and detach. And so I recommend to the council that we have it where we can pay for pallet forks for the backhoe not to exceed $2,250.
What did they use that for?
So they would take the bucket off and then they could put the forks on there, and if somebody came or they wanted to put equipment on a pallet, they could put it up on a shelf.
Gotcha.
There's no fork, we have no fork truck, but that would
Make
work.
life easier on them?
And some things that would, and the other thing is like our chemicals and stuff are coming in bigger totes now, where we can pick up the totes and take them to the wells, yeah?
You already recommended, so I just so moved.
Yep.
Okay.
second.
Roll call, please.
Schoenberg,
Yes.
Stanfield,
Yes,
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. Okay, upcoming capital area treasurers meetings information. This is for,
These are meetings that Egan County treasurers go to, kind of figure, like brainstorm different ideas and catch up on upcoming laws and stuff like that.
this would be just you going to?
Yeah.
And then is it a cost for the place also?
The only cost would be mileage.
Mileage and food, correct? Was it,
I don't think they provide food for that one, but they're early and late enough in the day that we won't have to worry about it.
because I just read that today where we're gonna bump the food up in the, but I read it in the handbook. Because it was what, $7 for breakfast, you didn't get breakfast.
it was really well.
So I recommend to the council that we have Jessica Cooch go to the upcoming capital area treasurer meetings information center, which is in Lansing, isn't it?
Mason?
That's in
April
Franklin Township, they're different places in.
Yep.
In Mason?
Mason is on April
April
5th and Meridian Township is on July 12th.
Okay, for them 2 locations with mileage and 1 receipt for either breakfast or lunch. So that would be, I would say, the mileage should not exceed $20 per meeting for lunch and food.
So moved.
Second,
And would that mean like each one, that she had
Yep.
Yeah.
$20, so just have a receipt and then we would reimburse her
We'll
for
just
that.
pay her for it, yeah.
Okay. You okay with that, Jessica?
Yeah, and then Shane just texted me, said he's changing the meter at all of these right now. He's having problems, so he'll be here as soon as he can.
That's no problem. Okay, thank you for that. So each different time of the meetings, you just get us a receipt, if you get something, as long as it don't exceed $20, is what we did. And then, your mileage,
Thank you.
okay? Roll call, please.
Schoenborn,
Yes.
Stanfield,
yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. MML liability and property pool renewal. So our renewal. So the approval or disapproval of the renewal of the MML liability and property pool not to exceed the amount of $18,911 for the fiscal year of April 1st, 2023 to April 1st, 2024. I recommend to the council that we continue with Michigan Municipality League.
So moved.
Second,
Okay, any discussion? This is our water pool.
It makes perfect sense that it went up, so.
No more
nothing
discussion?
there.
Roll call, please.
Schoenborn,
Yes.
Stanfield,
yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. Okay, motion to approve, disapprove, update of Village of WEBBERVILLE American League publishing supplements with estimate of $11,200. If Shane was here, he would actually talk to us about this.
That one's actually, for the ordinances online, they update that and then they send us like little inserts to update our books here.
And this is MML also.
That one's actually American Legal Publishing.
Oh, American Legal Publishing. Look here.
And I think it's so high now because it hasn't been done in 8 years.
We haven't had to do it in how many years?
It wasn't done in 8 years.
So they're actually gonna, like, print handbooks, or is this just gonna be online?
It's both.
On
They,
both?
yeah, they have it online and then they'll send me what has been changed and we'll just put in our ordinances books here.
Okay.
The word out paperwork. Village of American League Publishing. This is the publishing right here, Village of New York. So we got the examples here of New York, right? So we'll get a packet also, should we get on this? Steve?
Well, that's the, letter that Shane wrote to MRWA,
Okay,
thanking them for speakers and all that stuff. That's the next agenda item.
so that,
It's just this,
they're,
It's the thing before, it's an
Yeah.
email.
just
okay, it's
one.
this email, okay,
Yeah.
Paul Jones.
okay. Yeah, cause I didn't see where you had the two together, you had to add these two together to get the 11,200
Yeah,
for some, in 8, so it's been 8 years?
yeah. And I added up the high end of it, just as it could vary.
Could be less.
In the American Legal Publishing, if we don't, then we don't show up in it, or what?
It won't be updated.
We want to stay updated.
Yeah.
Is this something that Jim Wright, the ordinance officer, can use also, or no?
He actually uses that for some things, but not everything. It's like we put the fire, when we move the fire, what is it called?
Yeah, that one's called the fire
Yeah.
code.
Yeah, the fire code update went in there, the fireworks ordinance will go in there.
Okay.
They just have every ordinance resolution that the village has.
All right. Anybody from the council want to recommend this?
I make a motion to approve, to update the Village of WEBBERVILLE American Legal Publishing Supplements with the estimate of 11,200, not exceeding.
Awesome. Do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call.
Schoenberg,
Yes.
Stanfield,
yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. And this, will this last another 8 years, you think, Jessica, or?
I hope to have it updated every year.
But I'm just thinking money-wise,
Oh, if we have it updated now, it's gonna be a lot less,
right.
because I don't even know if I sent them a bunch of ordinances already.
Gotcha. Okay.
So hoping to stay caught up with it.
So then the next one is a letter that MRWA magazine, particular Shane sent to them, where we were, that was kind of nice. We just got to see it here.
Yeah, I think he wanted to
That's
show
nice.
everybody that his letter made it into the magazine.
It is nice.
It was very nice. Yeah, that was that John Monson, the water guy. That was really nice. All right. We did get right through that day. All right, we're down to, we were looking at the handbook and trying to get it more updated, and we keep just things that we put on the list at this point to see what you guys got. Like one of the things was back in the day, only 20 miles for somebody to work as a DPW guy, or just people not so far away, so we upped that to 40 miles. To be able to use breaks and lunches to cover late or early arrivals, I don't have a problem with that. We put that in there so that doesn't mess that up. Suggestions for divine tardiness. I don't know that. I don't see any reason why if somebody shows up at 5 o'clock, let's say somebody shows up at 8 o'clock in the morning, but they're there at 8:15, they have to say 9 a.m., they can put 8:15. And if they want a noon's lunch hour and they go to 12:15 working and then they take their lunch, it's fine. So I think that's what that's trying to define. I don't see anything, as long as they make a phone call. Everybody that I've told that works here, if you make a phone call and give me a heads up with a phone call or a text, then it's good. I just don't like the surprises. Our dress code, just, you gotta have, the dress code is pretty, like the guys at DPW, has gotta have work shoes, and they have to have the right gear on, just like the office ladies have to dress accordingly. We just go down through here, does anybody see anything that they don't, somebody's want to add snow days, I'm not in. And then, so I think this is gonna be a little bit more tweaking. Shane's here, he can give a little bit of input in it. The one thing that we noticed, that would probably be something that we're short on, is with the MERS, we're at the lowest spot for the retirement stuff, which it goes to a level 5, we should do a level 3 and still keep it 10 years invested and change that to a level 3 versus level 1.
There is a meeting March 8th that we've got with MERS to kind of go over any questions that we have. We generally do one a year, so.
Gotcha. There's some of the stuff down in here, I think we need a little bit more of a work session to tweak us a little bit better, because we didn't have enough time unless we want to go through everything now.
Well, Sam's not here, so
Gotcha.
I know he's got some stuff on here.
Go ahead, Jessica.
Shane brought up a good point too, about combining like the the sick days and PTO days and doing like a bank. That's what the gray highlight is, it kind of brings it down here, and then on the back is just a grid. Shows the time frame, the days, this is what the one that they were choosing, and then, if we did a PTO bank, what it would look like, what days.
I just thought it'd be simpler to keep track of if you've got one bank with all your time in rather than
Yeah.
here and here. I mean, it's not like you get paid a different rate or anything.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You call it
Makes it
PTO.
easier.
Yeah,
Was it PTO you called it?
Yeah, paid time off.
That's everywhere now.
Yeah.
my daughter's work does
They
it.
don't do it vacation time, sick time anymore, it's PTO.
We got the fork trucks, the
Forks for
forks for the tractor, the backhoe.
Okay, yeah.
And I was telling them what you would use them for, and I said, well, we've been getting them totes for the chloride and stuff too, you can unload it with that.
Yeah.
What have we been unloading it with?
The backhoe.
But we're using the bucket, it's a little more scarier. And then like you could actually take it to one of the wells if you had the forks.
If you had the forks, you could put a pallet on it. You could move chlorine between the wells. You could move, you
That's what I
know.
said.
We've got the project coming up. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be pipe and stuff, and it's a lot easier to move stuff with a set of forks than it is with
A bucket,
a bucket.
I agree.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's got its place.
Yep. I think it's something that, at this point, we can keep looking at this work session. This is just something we can see in front of us on the do's or don'ts. You got a little bit on this piece of paper, and then everybody's got a copy of our personal handbook, so we can look at that some more. And then we want to make sure we get this done by the end of March, so we can adopt it April 1st with our new fiscal year. Okay? And then, I'd like, if there's anything else that you can think that want to put in there, like I said, the 10 and the level 3 was good. The paid time off, I think is good, because there's times he comes in at 2 hours because the alarm goes off, sets the phone off, so you gotta come in and check it. So, all that would help, so you can add that together. And then there was a little bit more you mentioned that would show at the end of the year, like the time, it couldn't be more than 240.
Yeah, that's what federal law is. It says most employers don't allow more than like a bank of 240 hours for, like comp time.
Which is like 30 days, which makes a lot of sense. A lot of places you see do that. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add to the council while we keep looking at this? We did the merge, we did the PTO, which I think is cool. The vacation time bank, I don't understand that much.
I think that would just be covered with the PTO bank.
Okay.
I think Sam brought up the changing the, how many years you get into to get certain days.
Right.
Do you guys wanna do a, I don't know if, I haven't seen the handbook, but is there a difference between the office workers and DPW workers in the village council? Cause they're all different employees, so there probably should be some sort of I mean, Scott's here. It might be a good idea to have different somewhat different rules for each group, because obviously that's wildly different of each employee, of like, you know, you have your base, but then you also have, you know, him coming in the middle of the night is different than, obviously, the office workers don't have to do the same thing. So, and their attire is completely different than
Right.
office attire, so I don't know if should have it.
How did it go this many years with being the same? The girls usually don't
It's
have.
probably because no one really cares.
There's no hours. The hours are gonna be more out on the working field, and then in here would be with the meetings and stuff that they would help us with, but
Yeah,
as far as overtime.
right,
But the clothing part has been separate in the personal manual, the clothing, well, actually what it was supposed to be is uniforms, but nobody would wear them
right,
because
right,
they
yeah.
were so horrible.
That's what I'm saying, like
Because they
that.
were burgundy tops
Yeah.
and blue pants.
Yeah.
And the work shoes are there to make sure that, you know, the mud and the stuff that they're dealing with.
Yeah, cause I mean, obviously, they probably have to wear steel-toe boots, you don't really require that of the office staff. So, I mean, and then obviously the village council is also considered employees of the village, so there might be rules that come into play that will require you guys to do stuff that's not necessarily because you're not technically in, you know, you're an employee, but you're not an employee. So I don't know if that should be treated different, like I said, the attorney should know. I don't know if you guys wanna go
If they
through,
wanna go
through these
leaves, they
rules, make the
get
rules
boots
and
on.
have him tweak it, like before you guys vote on it, to make sure it's. I mean, unless Jessica wants to wear steel-toe boots.
Right. Well, keep that aside, or you can work on that, and you have to use your personal to deal with it, so. Okay. We're gonna go to number 9, which is Michigan State Housing Development Authority, the agreement. Which, give me a little bit more insight on that, Jessica Cooch.
So MISHA is a program that's set up by the state, for families who've been hurt by the pandemic, that they will help them with, house payments, electric, water bills. It's pretty much anything that they may or may not need to make sure they don't lose their stuff. And we've had a couple people interested in it, but we weren't able to help them with it because we weren't participating provider.
So, with us approving that, then they can actually fill out the,
Yeah, they can contact MISHA and start
because
the process.
we would be a candidate. Right now, we're not a candidate until we fill this out, saying that they can do this in the town of WEBBERVILLE.
Yep.
The village doesn't have to fill it out, but if we fill this out, send it in, and we're approved to be part of the Michigan Homeowners Assistance Fund, then they would then be able to fill it out.
Yep, so once we fill this out, we actually fill out information for our, so they can do an ACH to our account. So if somebody needs help with their utility bill, then they can fill out something with MISHA, and MISHA will send the funds right to our account,
So send the fund directly to them,
right directly to the village,
to the village.
to pay them for their bill.
How new, this is a pretty new program then?
Yeah, a lot of, Rachel from Enum County, she's been one of the biggest pushers of this.
Okay. So, from the council members, we need to approve, if we want to go forward with this, or?
I think it's important that we work with any program we can to help
It's not-
everybody inside the village.
It's no cost to us, correct, Jessica?
No cost.
No cost, we just gotta be on file, so the people in the village can actually exercise this.
All right, so I will make a motion to approve the Village of WEBBERVILLE to become a MISHA provider and sign the participation agreement.
Second,
Cynthia, roll call, please.
Schoenberg,
Yes.
Stanfield,
yes,
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. Very nice. Plant Moran Forensic Professional Fees, so they have in our,
correct.
yes, yes,
Can I ask you a question?
yes.
Once that is all put through and we become a of that program.
Yes.
I think it would be beneficial to put something in maybe the monthly newsletter with the water bill, letting the community members know, because I don't have a need for that service, but I wouldn't have known anything about it had it not been mentioned here. So I think it would be, I'm sure we have families in the village that are struggling, and I'm sure it would be a great resource for them.
Yeah,
So if you
and
could,
they probably post it on Facebook too, and I can see if they have flyers that we can put over at the library and see if the school would take some.
okay,
We'll try to get it out there.
But include it in the newsletter as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, MISHA actually has flyers that you should be able to get from them that you can just stuff into the newsletter and the bills. Yeah, because I've seen quite a few of them in other communities,
Okay.
so should be able to do that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I do believe once we get that filled out, we should get it out there so people can know we have that.
Yeah.
And I know Tammy's got 3 or 4 of them that we would mention to them right away that are having trouble with their bills here for the village. Try to get them, help them, get them on that. Okay. Next is Plant Moran. They got a hold of me in an email on Saturday night at 10 o'clock at night and mentioned that they did their due diligence on helping us and working on all the programs that they did. They came up with a compromise of additional $12,250 for Plant Moran performed between June 1st of 2022 to September 30th of 2022. And they've been great to us. I recommended the council that we go ahead and pay this in the balance of what we've already paid them, and this is for the program that we had.
And then this is like,
This is,
they can't charge anything more after this?
that is the forensic audit was done with this, and then the only thing would be is how long they had to be involved with the preceding rest of the process, if they were asked for something else, but all the stuff when it's submitted can't be changed anymore, so this is it.
Okay.
This will be the final.
And it took them that long to just readjust everything to make sure what everybody may need to. Yeah. Am I right on that, Mr. Scott?
Yes, sir.
So I recommended the council that we take care of this with the Plant Moran. They've been a great asset to the village of WEBBERVILLE to protect us.
So moved.
And do I have a second?
Second.
And like I said, the $12,250 is from their work that they did June 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2022. Okay, roll call, please.
Schoenberg,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. And you've seen in there where it says Plant Moran will be compensated separately for testimony preparation and related work of the January 2023. So we'll just see, hopefully it'll go smoother than that. We'll be the end of it. T.H. Eifert Mechanical Contractor for the new pump, which Shane and I just talked about today, which is February 28, 2023. What we want to do is purchase this $21,290 pump. Has that been installed?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, last week, we had our number 1 pump go down in our main lift station. Thermal limiter kept going out in it. The pump's not that old, it's probably not in that bad shape, but with spring coming, we need to have a good pump in there. So we purchase that pump, have them put it in, take the other pump, send it off, and have it rebuilt and have that as a spare, so that if we ever had a problem,
Just change it up?
change it out, rather than wait to get parts, because they haven't told me what the lead time is on getting the pump yet, so. But with the thaw coming up and the rain that we just had, and the creek higher and infiltration, inflow,
You're gonna need it.
we need 2 pumps going. He's got it bypassed on the thermal limiter right now, but, if something happens, they could burn that pump up, so.
What well is this?
That's the main Party Road lift station, that's the main lift
Yeah.
station.
When I said, well, I didn't mean to, but yeah, that's when we get the brand new circuit box on.
Yep. Everything's pretty much brand new on that. One pump is the pump that's out right now is about 5 years older than the other pump, so that's why.
I know back in the day, we purchased one and had one rebuilt. but-
Right.
Yeah. So when we do this, then this is gonna be the new pump, and we're gonna send the other one in, we want it rebuilt, but we don't know the price of that at this point.
No,
But I do
but it's gonna
recommend.
be cheaper than $21,000.
No, definitely. But the other thing that we ran into, which I did a few years ago, is they only last 18 months. That's why I said, Rusty Eckerman helped me, and he said, hey, let's do the brand new one.
Yeah,
And of course, the warranty is what?
I think it's, I'm not sure, it's a Gorman Rupp pump, I'm not sure what the warranty is on it,
Yeah, not much.
probably a year.
Yeah. Not for as long as we use them. They have to work.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
fun?
yeah, they work about, well, total, they work about 10 minutes an hour during normal flow, but when, during high flow, they're
Yeah.
30 minutes an hour.
They're in next to laying around when you need it.
Yeah.
That type of-
Yeah.
Okay, Lana, I'm gonna help you. Why don't you go on this page right here and make the motion on this.
Are we talking about the
The
new pump?
Number 11, yeah.
I'm gonna make the motion to approve the is it
Effort?
Thank you.
Effort.
quote, for February 28, 2023, not to exceed the amount of $21,290 to fix the pump.
Awesome. Seconded?
I'll second.
Second by Sandra. Any discussion? So this will give us a brand new pump, and then we're gonna send the old pump in, and then we'll figure it out our next meeting what the price would be on that. That way we have one on hand, because what we're concerned about with everything that's happened is right now we're running with just one that would be kind of hairy if something happened to that one if we don't have a backup. So we wanna make sure we have a backup. Before, 5 years ago, you could get one the next day. It's not that way no more, so. Roll call, please.
Schoenberg,
Yes.
Stanfield,
Yes,
Walter,
Yes,
Hitchcock.
Yes, thank you. Okay, another Leader Academy. And this would be, you want to talk a little bit about it, Jessica Cooch?
Yeah, Shane sent it to me because we've been talking about, making my leadership skills a little, well, better. And this will help to get those skills that I'll need to lead pretty much the office and all that fun stuff.
Okay. Everybody see the little
mhm.
pamphlet here?
It's like a 4 or 6 month program.
Is this something off the computer?
It's actually offered through my deal.
Mine, right, so then you don't have to go anywhere, it's just
I think it's online.
online, right?
Yeah,
So we pay $500 online, and then when it pops up, them days you can do it during work hour?
Yep.
Okay, so all we gotta do is buy the program to allow us to do it.
Yep.
Okay,
so every month you have these little sets of things that you'll work on.
we're in college all over again.
yeah,
Basically, kind of.
Yeah, I should enjoy college till we're done.
okay. Any other discussion with the council on approve or disapprove on this?
I'm good with that.
Good with it? What about you, Deborah?
Yeah, that's fine.
You wanna take a hold of this one, Deborah, and,
Sure. Motion to approve for Jessica to participate in the Fit Leaders Academy, not to exceed the cost of $500 to receive training and become a better leader.
sounds good.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Sandra. Roll call, Jessica, any discussion? If none, then roll call, Jessica Cooch.
Schoenberg,
Yes.
Stanfield,
Yes,
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. You're gonna be busy. Looks like you got for the 6 months. Yeah, it'd be like one.
We've got a lot of classes in the next 6 months.
All right, we're on to the amendment budget from last fiscal year. We do not have to decide anything at this time, just to discuss it. If there's any changes you would like, we would use the next 2 meetings to go over this. This is to help us for our new budget, 2023 to 2024. So we can look at that. If there's anything you see at this time, you can run it by me. If not, please take that with you and keep it with our personal paperwork for the,
The handbook.
for the booklet that we want to also approve by April 1st. So this is stuff that we want to look over for our April 1st new budget. Budget amendment and budget proposal.
The first 6 pages are the amendment for the 2022-2023 to make it more exact. Caitlin actually did a lot of this with her coworker to make sure it was correct. And then the other pages are for the 23-24 budget.
And I take it with the expenditures for the plus additional of 1 employee, that must be Brian. I left the second to last page, under expenditures. Water and sewer, it says a 3% annual increase plus addition of 1 employee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the,
Unless you hired somebody else, I don't know about.
What is that?
I said unless we hired somebody else, I don't know about.
No, that's it.
Okay.
I heard half of that, and kind of went to school.
You got, did we put in there where we want to budget in for 23-24 for a new truck?
It should be in there because I know about it. Let's go through this page real quick.
For a new truck. 23-24. Do you see it in there, maybe Shane, or no?
No. I know, I talked to Caitlin about it, so she said she was gonna include it in there.
80,000. Right, just put it in.
What kind of truck? Pickup, dump?
We want to have a full commercial vehicle, single axle, large dump truck that can take over the scraping and spreading the salt,
Okay.
because our other two are very old and just want to probably be in the 80 to 100,000 range.
Caitlin actually just texted me and said, dump truck not added in yet, but we will add, I need to know what funds is supposed to charge to motor pool. So it's not in there yet.
Okay, so stop looking.
That's good timing.
I'd say between 80 and 100 at this point until I get further into it. So do we have to, we can just look at it, but at this point, not to amend it, we're still working on trying to get it tweaked out with Plant Moran, correct?
Right, that's for your information, just go through it, get familiar with it, see if you want any suggested changes.
And then Caitlin or Plant Moran or somebody, when we actually legitimately get ready for the last,
I can ask her.
Ordinance, get it on it, the truck's got to be on it.
Yeah, she actually asked, what amount are you guys
80
thinking?
to 100,
80 to 100? You want new or used?
new, unless it's a year old, but I mean, right now, we're looking at new. When you're dealing with salt, it's new, it's nice to have new, because it already takes that out of the equation.
Right.
And then the next meeting will be the rough draft, and then the final meeting will be the approval.
Have her, then when you're texting her, have her, like, when she's here again, just let me know when she's here, she's got it, or then I can actually go over it with her.
Okay.
I'll sit there with her, go over it. And that way we can bring it to council with the truck involved.
Oh, she's watching on Facebook Live, that's why she did.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
so we're gonna leave budget amendment number 1322 to 2023.
Probably 13 and 14.
Can we have the 22 and the 23? We can actually go on that one, right? The 23, 24 is the one we're gonna have to have the new budget.
Right.
Did she retweak the 23 so that we got the Polaris Ranger in there? And I know that she talked to me about, because we kind of, after the trucks started having problems, both trucks, we let go of the Polaris Ranger idea for the salt at this time, so.
I think she moved that money to the trust.
She did move the money to the truck? So she needs us to act on 22 to 23 budget amendment, we can, because it's in the packet, I'm trying to see where general contract, where they've actually moved that, we had it, so. It breaks down the 4 different areas to break the truck down into. So when you're talking to Caitlin, and she got what she needs to have the 22, 23 come out like she wanted to, per our conversation with the counter the one day that her and I were there?
I think they got most of it, there's some stuff that we're still trying to work through, because we're waiting on a couple things.
Is that for the finalized budget?
For the amended 22, 23.
Yeah.
We have to
Yeah, so
amend
you-
it 23.
Yeah, so you guys will want to vote on that right before, like, the very end of that budget season.
Right, so we're gonna do that at the end of March.
Yeah.
Before we do the new budget.
Yeah.
So that's still
Yeah,
there.
that way the final number should be completely solid and easier to do. Cause I know that's how we do it with DDA.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it'll set us up for success.
Yeah. DDA is a lot easier because we don't
Just
spend
keep
very
this off
much
the
money. So it's usually pretty easy because we only have like maybe probably like 30 checks a year that go out, so not like you guys that you actually daily have stuff going out.
And there's 4 different ways they pull, like for the dump truck that we get pulled from, or if we got the Polaris Ranger to try to do the sidewalks, there's different areas we pull from. So like if you had 4 different areas, you did 80,000, you'd have 20, 20, 20, 20 to pull from. So
Okay.
streets, water, sewer.
Okay.
Still don't really know what to do with the sidewalk removal because we got a lot of narrow sidewalks.
Did you hear me get the quote from the grant?
For what?
Nope. Yeah, I'll follow with them again. I've had them up a couple times. So, 'cause, that would be prudent to know. Because, obviously, if his quote's decent enough, unless we get a ton of snow, it probably would be more prudent to have a company do it than, maintaining a piece of equipment that's only its use.
This last one, I'm gonna use you on, Scott Gould. Approval outstanding IRS quarterly report back in the third quarter of 2014. So evidently we got, with the 941s that Caitlin sent out, IRS backed up and said that we owed them, the village of Waterville still owed an outstanding cost,
So the
24,607.
the 2014 quarter 3 payment, they told us that they received it in 2021, but couldn't tell us when they processed it. And it wasn't included in the amount that they gave us to pay that last round. So they sent us, we spent like 2, 3, 4 hours on the phone with IRS, so that was fun. But, so now we owe them just under 25,000, it was like $24,607.64. So we need to pay that and then file a form with the IRS to get the penalties and interest hopefully waived. So they'll pay us back for that. And then the 940 ones that we had to
So
send out,
initially, excuse me, that's included in this 24,000?
the penalties fees, yeah.
Okay,
And we were able to get them to freeze it, so no interest, because they apply interest daily. So we were able to get them to freeze it so that it won't go any farther.
okay.
So what we did initially is we paid all of it, and then we're asking for forgiveness to see if they'll
For some of it back, right?
re-credit. So instead of trying to wait and see what they'll do for discounts, we just paid it all.
It's the IRS.
Right. And then say, look, this is what happened,
Right,
Plan Moran sent a letter to them, this is what we went through.
right.
Is there any way you can pardon some of this? And at that point, but we took care of it completely, per Scott Gould, also our lawyer said, you know, that shows good faith, just get it all out there and then come back and say, hey, look, this is what we went through, do you think you can give us a break on something?
Okay.
So with that said, then I recommend the council we approve to pay the $24,607.64 and not to exceed that to the IRS and then go from there and play involved with them.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? I'd like to be able to go back and have people that owe me money, that long as I want to be able to just say, hey, ante up. But roll call, please.
Shellmore,
Yes.
Stanfield,
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
Hitchcock.
Yes. All right. The other thing that was brought to my attention just before we adjourned was they said, the sheriff's department, you know, they moved into their new building and they mentioned that there's a possibility we didn't pay them the first quarter of last year, which we had plant ran here. So this is a phone call from Mason at the Sheriff's Department. So I would like what I mentioned today to Tammy, and then I mentioned to, I talked to Shane about it, is we want to go and back up and talk with Caitlin Plant Moran, I mentioned to Jessica, see if there, because every quarter there's a document that comes to us that says you owe this much. And I see them. I remember that, so I want more paperwork pulled out before we approve. We probably did or we probably didn't, but we had Plant Moran that we paid to make sure we did everything correctly. How we missed that, I would like to see where we missed it before I paid it. I'm not saying we don't owe them, I'm just saying I want more information before we,
A little bit of black on white.
Dot your i's, cross your t's.
we have Plant Moran here to have enough information so we should know what time it was sent in an email or what it was, so we would make sure. I know when I sign the checks, I see that, so pretty much 4 times a year. So in that note, so how could you go a whole year without knowing?
I agree.
You missed that one.
Yes.
Oh, good. She just said, I'm investigating the sheriff contract and will send you details tomorrow. I believe we had made off quarter payments. Oh, hold on, I got cut off. Okay, yeah, made off quarter payments, but she's checking.
Because, I mean, one thing about when we sign the checks, I look and I can see that. When I look at that, I look at the documentation where we send it. The one thing we don't, like, I know who we pay, the people that owe us money for the village, I don't see that, the people that's supposed to pay us. But I see what we pay out. And I usually, I'm pretty good at, that's why I want to see that. So according to Caitlin, I could be right, but we got to prove to them. So we'll do that. So that was one of the other boogeymans we had earlier today, something like that. Well, just hold on. I want more information before we, because that's 279,000. Anything else, Shane?
No, we're down to, 1 meter at the school to change. We've got a 3-inch meter that we're gonna, wait till spring break to change. And then 1 at the building that the DEA is looking at. Then we've got a meter pit that we're still waiting on getting a price on that we have to put in, so. Other than that, all the meters have been changed. We did all these 100-pound, 4-inch compound meter, 7 foot up above our heads tonight, so.
Wow, because it was a time that we could do it without not having water.
Yeah, it was after 5, so,
That was what the deal was.
yeah.
Okay.
So once all of those are in, we can start doing like the online stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna give Mike Martin a call so that, he can basically, I think they have something on their website that tells them how to do it on the Metron website, but I'm gonna see if we can't get something that we can include in the newsletter that, we'll let people know how they can go in and basically look at, it's not real-time usage on their water meter, it's the previous 12 hours. So, but it'll give you an idea if you have a high water bill, when the water was being used, so,
When you have a leak
yeah.
in your water softener.
Yeah, and if you can get that, let me know, because we can actually, I don't have a problem with doing like a tutorial, an actual recorded tutorial on how to do it.
I almost think they have one on their website.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then we can
put
always
that on
post stuff there,
Facebook.
yeah. That way it would be helpful, just so that, instructions are easy, but,
When you see something.
sometimes when you see people going through it, it makes it a little bit easier for everyone.
We did get a chance to look at the bank today. I had to help her open the door because it was so rusty. We had to wiggle and jiggle it and run the key at the same time. And we got in there, and it's pretty rough. I mean, it's rough. So the next step with, Shane and I spent a couple hours together today. We went around this building, we don't feel that there's any failure of our brick around this building other than a surface of the salt and the snow up against it on the backside, which face east. Everything else looks good. Little landscaping coming up there, and it's fiberglass for the pillars, which Greg specializes in that, our DPW guy, so there's a possibility we could do that with the pillars, been damaged with a weed trimmer in the front. I think I was gonna try to get with Scott Simmons. I don't know if he retired from doing the human elevators, but have him come look at this one. To just get feelers out there for the elevator.
Right.
And then downstairs, we figured if we did glass, I don't know if it would be in bulletproof glass or what they could provide for us where the counter is, and then the sliding accordion door, switch that into a actual door.
Yeah.
And then in the back room, we can put the door that's there, we can move it back into the closet more, and that would be an exit door for the girls if they were in that area and wanted to leave out the backside.
Nice.
There were the three things that we'll push through this year to get that done,
Yeah.
along with some paint and maybe carpet. But at this point, the only thing that would hinder us not being able to do everything we do here is to make sure the elevator works better than what we have at this time.
Yeah.
But the outside of this, the shingles look great. We wanted to know if we could look up there and see if there's screens where it looks like there'd be bat heaven. Where the two vents area, we don't even know how to get into the attic.
What about the brick in the very front of the building?
The brick in the very front of the building?
Yeah, where it goes towards like the wall, like it's.
Yeah, where the insets where the libraries are?
Yeah, yeah, the papers, yeah.
Papers could be pulled and
Yep.
retained,
Okay.
sand down, retain
Yeah.
them.
Okay.
Because the grading's horrible out there, everything
Yeah.
runs back towards the building,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, because I mentioned to Brad about doing it to alleviate that weed whacking. I don't understand why there was never landscaping done in the front of the building, because that would get rid of the weed whacking issue completely.
Right.
And it would also probably look a lot nicer, because, I mean, right now it's kind of, I'm sure mowing sucks too, because I'm sure you could probably do that with a weed whacker.
Yeah.
Because you can't really unless you guys have a little
Right.
20-inch
Yeah.
push mower that you want to do.
We
with it.
seen tar up there, like somebody put tar up against the brick and then there possibly could have been some landscaping back in the day and then it
Yeah.
just turned into grass, but that dirt's gotta be removed, it's higher than the sidewalk.
Yeah, and I can talk to the garden club, see how much activity they want, like, how much they want to do, like flowers or whatever in there. And then obviously, I'm sure the DDA wouldn't mind, I mean, we have a vegetation program, so we'd, pay for mulch or, I mean, usually against buildings, you usually don't want mulch, so like, I mean, I think like, the rubber mulch
Yeah,
stuff, I mean, that's a lot nicer and it's less maintenance.
Maintenance, I mean, it's
Yeah,
free.
I mean, keeps rodents and pests away from the building too.
The,
Ground barrier down and put that on top.
Yeah, and that would be,
the bush trimming we do through our DPW guys, but I'm pretty sure we'll ask Greg again if he can do that, then the pillars can be repaired, it's just, it's foam with some type of plaster /
Yeah.
fiberglass outside product that can take it, if we can smooth that out, and then it's just textured paint,
yeah.
and then we can fix them where they've been ate into by the weed trimmer.
Now, just because I don't know, so the vault, quote unquote vault, is that an actual vault or is that just like a door? The one that goes underneath the stairs or whatever?
That is just a door that goes to the safe room and where there's paperwork and prints.
Okay.
And then there actually is a safe in there.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, so that's just a locked door that goes in there, so we
Okay.
can go in there if you need to run wiring or something like that.
Well, I was just thinking, like, an idea, you know, because right now you have this humongous counter that's pretty crazy. What if, I don't know if the size, I mean, it seems like it's similar size. What if the girls were moved to the other side of that partition wall where the council chambers used to be, set their desks up there, you could run a wall for that, office that's back there, you know, the old treasurer office. And then, you know, obviously you'd have a secure door there, it'd be easier to put a, like, you know, nice partition there, you know, counter there, smaller opening, and then you could use that space for maybe even a like conference table there. And so that if, you know, I talked to you about this earlier, which is, you know, if we're meeting with vendors, you know, being on DDA, it always sucks when you're meeting with like 1 or 2 vendors and you have to come all the way up here, you have to heat this place up and like to meet 1 or 2 people, where if there's a nice conference table there, you come down there, meet with them, the girls could use it when they're doing budget season to spread out and like, you know, not having to encompass their desks or whatever.
We also need knowledge of the paperwork that's in the garage in that one room in the back. Have you ever been back in that one room? Have you?
No.
I can show you. It's
Yeah.
like full of paper. So we need somebody to come in there and know the knowledge of what we want to digitize
Yeah.
and put on a disc and scan and then shred the paperwork.
Yeah.
Because right now, with Plant Moran getting us on track, that's some of the paperwork that's in the old chambers where we had our council meeting. That's there and it's in file where Plant Moran can get it organized. But at that point, I believe after 3 years, they should be able to take pictures of it and put it on a disc where we don't have to have all that paperwork.
Yeah, we can put it on the server, same thing.
There you go.
Modernize, yeah.
That's one part I'm not really good at.
Yeah.
is the computers.
Do that, and we can actually have it scanned in, I can help you guys with that, is scan in, so it's actually, the text is searchable. So if the girls are ever looking for anything, they literally can search
Right.
in that, like, anything any document that contains that phrase, they can find. So, I mean, it'd be helpful for FOIA requests and everything else to be able
So
to easily be
before
like,
anything gets done majoring
Yeah.
it'd be nice to have an architect come in and actually give us a couple ideas like you just
Yeah.
mentioned. But the big factor is the paperwork. So the
Yeah.
paperwork we have, we gotta figure out how to modernize that.
right, yeah.
That's a big problem.
I just figured by moving them over that way, that petition wall, you still do your door, but then they have access to all that room back there, and that's no longer where they're, you know, even if they're walking through there, it cuts the public off from being able to have access back there easily, and kind of locks that area out, so,
That back room, there's a door there. So if you
Okay.
move that door to the back wall, it opens into the hallway.
yeah,
So you just move the door.
yeah,
So move the door, just have plastic or whatever in front of them right at the counter.
right.
And they had an accordion door, which I don't know, whoever come up with that, it's something from the
It's probably
60s.
80s or 90s.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
money-wise, them 3 things
Yeah.
resolve somebody feeling unsafe and
Yeah.
be protected immediately. But if any architect would like to come in and get something drawn up down
Yeah.
there, it'd be nice, but.
I mean, I think that area, is the chambers similar to the area that you guys currently occupy? Is it very similar?
Bigger,
It's bigger?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
because we're.
So you're doing the same thing that you're talking about, just moving,
You wouldn't have
down,
to
so
do
it's-
anything. We could
yeah.
actually tear down where this like up in the hill and then get more room.
Yeah.
Because when you put all the people shoved in that corner, you could have more of that space.
Right.
For a table.
yeah,
But right now, what are we gonna do with all the paperwork?
Yeah.
We gotta get rid of the paperwork down in the garage
Yeah.
also, so.
especially if you did that too, you guys could actually, for your kitchen, for the employee break
Yeah.
room or whatever, you could put another, like, you'd have easier access to that, you could even coordinate it off too. Cause I don't know if that's part of, like, when you rent the hall, if that's included.
Yep, they use the
It is.
kitchen when they rent
Okay,
the home.
alright,
So you'd have to leave that there.
yeah, okay,
So you're right, Josh.
Yeah.
When you went to the other locations, we have it pretty nice here. It is,
Oh, yeah.
it has got all the assets. All we gotta do is get a more modernized
yeah,
elevator.
yeah,
And if we get somebody to modernize, knowing, oh, there's new technology now where we can do it in that same area,
yeah,
that's possible.
Oh, yeah.
If they can do that, then
Yeah,
that solves that problem.
oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, this building is beautiful, I mean, it
It is.
just needs a little upkeep, I mean, it has.
The outside of this building is
Yeah.
better than the bank.
Oh, yeah, oh, I'm sure,
And then didn't you think when you went into the bank that it had the plastic in front of the girls?
No, because that would have been way before then.
There's nothing.
That was way before COVID.
Because I mean, even like Williamston and stuff, they never, even Fifth Third never had that. You know, even Lansing, most of those places, I mean, unless you're in a bad area, you know, you really don't have that.
It's just too bad somebody that's not like a bank or some type of, I mean, that's just sad, because it literally, there's a lot in there that would be a credit union bank
Oh, yeah.
startup that is not useful. The vault can be used, it's a vault door, but of course you can take the drywall next to it and walk through it
Yeah.
to get in there, but,
Like I said, I've been steadily poking severely at a lot of credit unions trying to get,
we would
because
love
it would be a good connector for them for, you know, I
anything,
mean, we're kind of in the middle,
even a
and
house,
there's not any credit unions really around here.
even documentation trust department or something.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
at this point,
even if they did one of those weird Bank Americas now that they have, which is literally you walk in and it's a TV screen and you hit a button and it like talks to you, and then it's basically like a, you know, you're talking to someone in like South Carolina, but it's like then they can, you know, give you money, you can do a deposit through, it's all very weirdly automated. I mean, they're kind of cool, but I mean, let's lead the way. Let's find, you know, I mean, that'd be easy for them. I mean, I would be all right if they could just, if we find someone to put an ATM in that building, or anywhere in town would be nice. Because, I mean, that would be
We
significant,
need an
yeah,
he's gonna have to do something pretty.
Bob's got one.
yeah.
ATM. If you pay a fee. Yeah, I like that. I don't wanna pay a fee to get my money.
Hey, it's $3 at that machine, and then your bank charges you
Right.
$3, so to take out $20, it's gonna cost you $26. Well, I am not kidding you.
It would be nice.
With the shingles on this building, and the eave troughs on this building, and the water runoff on this building, works better than the bank.
Oh, I'm sure.
So this has just a little bit of maintenance going on.
Yeah.
I don't even think you need to have somebody come over here as a, I mean, it's what we know. I don't think you have to have somebody come over as an engineer thinking there's a structural damage problem. I think you've got a guy that was a bricklayer,
Yeah.
he would tell you what's going on with your brick, because
Yeah.
what it is, we're taking the face off from it, because the salt, and it's so close to the blacktop,
Yeah.
is popping it with the salt, the spray up on the salt, that's what's popping the bottom
Yeah,
brick.
I think even probably just a general waterproof would probably be a huge benefit. Someone that comes in knows how to waterproof the building a little bit more, and, I mean, I'm sure whatever waterproofing they used originally is probably deteriorating quite severely. I mean, you know, no one's really touched the building. They did, I think, mitigation of,
91?
yeah, water leak stuff like 15 years ago from O'Neill's, that's what they generally thought, but that was very bare minimum. I mean, other than that, it was, 90s when they did the whole.
The
shit
three
back.
things that I said that the girls would be protected from.
Yep.
They would still be able to do their job and it wouldn't affect them. The back room, that can be done
Oh, yeah.
easily, the counter to protect that can be done easily, and then just the aquarium door
Yeah.
at that time. So even if we did them three things and then we went further into an architectural layout
Mhm.
down the road, we're not out much.
Yeah, and I think,
Now
like I
that-
said, it, honestly, even for, we talked last meeting about, you know, even a camera up here at the top in the lobby area would be nice, just for a viewing ship. You don't even have to record it if you don't want, but just enough so that when they hear those doors open, if there's a resident that can't make down the stairs, something wrong with the elevator, or whatever,
Yep.
you know, they'd be able to look up and be like, okay, like, we need to go up there and see what they need, you know, and I think that would be helpful too, because, I mean, I know in our office, I love it, because every time I hear that front, and we have got a 100-year-old door, so you can, it rattles through the building when that 9-foot by 4-foot door opens, so like, right away, I can actually look up, you know, at the screen in our office, be like, okay, you know, it's someone I know, or like, oh yeah, I need to deal with this, or whatever else, just kind of helps with a little bit of knowledge, knowing who's up there,
With
so.
that said, I mean, you're talking $5,000 to probably take care of all that, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Just gotta get the contractor to do it. We figured we might get a hold of Andy from the school, because, or the
Glass.
glass.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't even be a bad thing anyway, is depending on the cost of that film. Like I said, that also helps so that if someone hits something against, you know, not even maliciously,
Yeah.
it doesn't shatter and you don't have to deal with, you know, a bunch of problems.
Well, he
So,
said it takes 3 minutes for him to get through it.
Yeah,
Deputy Sheriff Matt Wilson also explained, which money-wise, that wasn't that expensive.
No, that film is fairly inexpensive, so, for the
So
security.
them are the things we come up with today, we actually, like you said, we do have a nice building.
Yeah.
And we should stay here and just get it more modernized for our taking.
Main thing is keeping them safe.
And none of you people have sat here and did the chambers downstairs, but it's dark and
It
we're
is.
shoulder to shoulder. And we don't get the availability to look at the people that
I've been to
actually,
many meetings down
yeah,
there.
we don't get the ability to look at each other and go, hey,
We'll talk
or
about,
somebody raise their hand. I mean, it's just flooded with this,
Yeah.
so.
I'll talk about being claustrophobic and weird, like when you go into the, because I remember one of the first times you suggested DDA stand, like sit up in the village, like seats or whatever, and I think we did that once, and I'm like, not again, because you have to like, as people sit down, you can't just go around people, because it's so close, so you basically have to like get yourself positioned in there, and then if you wanna like step out or something, you have to wait for everyone else to leave. It's just definitely a weird scenario, so yeah, it would be nice to at least do that, but like I said, that would be I would personally, from like the DDA standpoint, I would love to have some sort of a meeting room, which I think we could use one of that space for that.
Instead of coming up here.
Yeah, because then you're not having, like I said, heat this humongous building or humongous room just for, half time I'll meet like contractor or something or a vendor and it's like 15 minutes. And then I feel weird because I'm like, we're sitting here and it's like me and the person like in this big room.
Isn't
Yeah.
it just, it's programmed, it just comes on,
Yeah,
we don't have it where it turns up or down, just the steady,
just said,
the
yeah.
steady heat, right?
It knocks down when
It's
one's in here,
programmed
right?
different than downstairs then, right? Yeah.
Let's see, it should be on
It's
a
a
timer.
broke timer, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fixed now, and that's probably why it's this cold.
Yeah.
And see, like, this here, if you kind of, you have to spend some time, but this is some of the ceiling and wall of the police department.
oh yeah,
So you have to spend a little bit of time trying to figure out where's what
oh yeah,
on here. And like today, it was pretty wild. Where Shane and I thought we were gonna be able to, the door would be, it's not where it was. It was right out in the hallway. So literally taking the one door where it's in the room where the Caitlin from Plant Moran's sitting,
yeah,
move it into the closet, and it's right at the hallway where the girls can just leave.
oh yeah, yeah.
Right there, with a lock, already there. All we gotta do is just move the door.
Yeah, this is, like I said, I had to try to figure out a way to get a wire from down the basement up here, and I've done a lot of crazy buildings in 20 years, and this would be by far the biggest game of Tetris I've ever seen.
Did you go down and, you probably went into the monitor room too, right?
Well, the biggest problem with here is you got hard ceilings that go around everywhere. So, I mean, if it's drop ceiling, you usually go up and find a cavity, where this is like they're randomly deciding to do drywall in random sections all over the building. So, for whatever reason. So, it's,
Back in the day, though, you did it pretty modernized, but.
yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's an old building. I do have original, I think Norm Knack was the one that shared them. There's original photos, 'cause this used to be the fire department. And,
The fire department was where the library was.
yeah.
Where the library
Oh,
was.
was it? Because I think the one picture almost looked like the back garages.
This, because the water tower was over here by the.
Yeah, right.
Flagpole.
Yeah,
And then the fire trucks were over there, just this side of the
Oh,
flagpole,
was it?
facing that way.
okay. Yeah, because this was like, the photo I saw was from like the 40s or 30s, so quite a while ago. Because then the village office used to be on the corner, right?
Yeah, it used to be right there between the barber shop and the restaurant.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you. At this point, that concludes my program. What I can do is just, everybody, when you go home, just look over our budget plans, just look at them, define them.
That's the concealed, we have to go,
Look it over that, the concealed.
yeah, are
Yep.
we gonna discuss that, or?
You can look over that and then come up with that with our personal,
When we do the handbook.
yep, the handbook, yep.
Just making sure.
I'm still thinking about that. Mr. Scott Gould's working on it also. Yeah, look at what you think other municipalities would actually do. There's some areas that we go that state and county owned that don't want any concealed weapons. That's where I am. But do I have anybody for a motion for adjournment?
I make a motion to adjourn at 7:28.
I second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you all for coming, I appreciate it. And if there's any other questions or anything, you can come to me, and I appreciate you coming. Thank you. It's Christina.
Yeah.